What's going on, family? Shalom, shalom, peace and blessings to you and your household. Like I say, I'm here just waiting on some soup, right down the street from the house. Nice little restaurant, one of the best soups that I tasted in a while. So, getting some soup for my wife and things like that. But I would say this, guys. I'm starting to see this more and more, right? This thing called the Hantavirus. You get what I'm saying? Um, And like I said, I want to make this clear. I want to make this clear. This video is not about fear. It's not about saying, hey, this is another pandemic. But I want to make this clear where people cannot ignore this. The last pandemic, what I learned is going to be a choice of yours. It's always going to be a choice that you have to choose, that you have to make, right? So what's happening just from my understanding and what I see it just how, the last 2019, 2020, early 2020, right? They were closing flights down. You get what I'm saying? Things like that, airports, all of it. But this time, there is actually in a different way. It's very similar, but it's in a different way where you're not going to have a choice. So that's why I say it's going to be your choice. You can choose, but you have to choose wisely and you have to move on this fast, because if this thing is what if this thing is what they say it is, this could be another thing. We know they like to play games. We know that, things like this pops up, and you kind of make sure that you're healthy, so I'm glad that, I'm here, I'm sweating. I just walked maybe like 10, 15 minutes in the sun. So it's a blessing to get vitamin D. It's a blessing to get that sunlight. It's a healing. So this is why I say, and I'm gonna do another video about this too, because recently I talked to my uncle and he's retired. He's 71 and he lives in Thailand. And what he mentioned to me, that when he goes back to America to get checked up by his doctor, each checkup is better and better. And he says it's better and better because the food is more organic. The air quality is better. He's getting sunlight and things like that. We know in America they spray the skies and block the sun and clouds and stuff like that, right? I'm not trying to get too deep into it, but that's something that you really have to pay attention to, because you know this is how it starts. It starts with small clips. It starts with small videos. It starts with small reports. You get what I'm saying? Until you really can't do nothing anymore. Like I say, sorry for the background noise. I am right here by the main road, so there's motorcycles. It's pretty loud. I can't even hear myself speak. I do speak a little softer than most people, so I just wanted to say that if you guys hear some background noise, but I hope not, because I do have the mic. So like say a truck just passed, so I hope I'm gonna probably watch this video at 3 minutes and see, hey, no, okay, it's good. Um, but yeah, so guys, make sure you like the video. Leave your comments below, because I need to know what's going on where you are. You get what I'm saying? This is why we have our community, right? This is why we talk behind the scenes, our members only videos. We talk like this. We try to get information. We try to have the community share what's going on in their state, what's going on in the country that they're in. You get what I'm saying? What's going on, like I just said. My uncle's in Thailand. He's telling me a lot of things, and I'm gonna do a video. I'm gonna break down that video because I think it's very important for people to know. He's been traveling for a long time. Ever since I was like 6 or 7, I always knew that he was traveling. And I'm gonna be 32 next week. So leave a comment below and say, you know, all praises to the Most High for another year. Um, but yeah, this is something different. This is something different. You have to prepare. Preparation is key. You do not want to wait until things start to get too difficult to have a choice, right? You always want to have a choice, right? They say this virus is kind of just like the other one, just like, C19, where it's coming from rodents, where it's coming from, droppings, when when the rodents defecate and things like that, saliva, and sometimes air, the air too. So, you got to be careful. That's why, all praises for the new addition to our family. And it's at the right time, because to a point it's like, dang, everybody in my household, we are starting to be more cleaner. We clean. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. We good, but it's just more like you got to wash your hands more. If when I get the baby or something, I got to wash my hands, make sure I'm good. I'm outside, so when I go home, I'm scrubbing down. I'm scrubbing down, just like they was teaching us how to wash our hands in 2019, 2020, 2021, right? So it's getting to that point that I want to let people know it is serious. It is something that you have to pay attention to. It is something that's going to push you to a point to kind of, this is what you have to do. Things that's happening right now is so confusing. There's so much that's going, just thrown at people. It's just thrown at people. So the last video I did, I was talking about they're going to make it so difficult. They're going to put so many distractions in your face, right? And if you're not discerning, if you cannot see um, how they are trying to play you to have you be controlled in a way, it's going to be a problem. So I just say, like, it is a good thing. You always got to look at the good things that come out of bad situations, right? So that's something that is very, very important. Make sure you get more sunlight. Make sure you're drinking more water. Make sure you're washing your hands. Make sure doing the proper things so you won't be affected with this thing, if this thing is something that is going to be like COVID. 6 feet, right? 6 feet. You remember that? You guys remember that? 6 feet. Wearing masks and stuff. People get the best mask, and then they was like, do not get the best mask, because if you do it, you're breathing it in, and get this mask, and it's a whole bunch. We can break that down in a whole nother video, but the videos that I was seeing, it was saying that something like a cruise ship, like 3 people was affected, and they, you know, um, was too much for them, so they couldn't breathe. So I'll say that I couldn't breathe. So this is something important. And of course we know the WHO, the health organization, the World Health Organization. They are starting to put reports out. They are putting this out to make sure you're good. So don't think like this is not real. That's what I'm trying to say. You gotta, whatever they say, you gotta make sure that um, everything is okay, right? For yourself, for you and your household. So my household, we have children. We want to make sure everybody wash their hands, clean, things like that. So it is getting to that point, right? Because before the pandemic, think about this. Many people thought, hey, 2 weeks, it's gonna be done. This could never affect daily life. Think about that. This could have never affect daily life. It's just gonna pass. And then suddenly, guess what? Borders closed. Guess what? Flights canceled. Guess what? Business been disrupted. Right? Life changes overnight. Overnight. That's what you gotta think about. So I'm saying this because it is very important to see how they're moving. Just how airlines is getting shut down. Prices is increasing when it comes down to air or travel. When it comes down to gas. When it comes down to water, electricity, just everything, right? Things are increasing. So this is why we say your biggest flex, the only thing that could really benefit you in the long term, is go somewhere where you're gonna have a lower cost of living. Like I said, I was just talking to clients and I'm telling them our prices that we pay and things like that. And I'm like, man, this is a blessing, because when we do our research about America and, just looking at Airbnbs, looking at rental properties and stuff like that versus on this side of the world, it's crazy. It is wow. I'm telling you guys, it's wow. Like, what? For us, a family, take this, a family of 8, me and my family, if we really wanted to, we would not have to pay $3,000 a month. That's probably the max that we have to pay to take care of everything. That's rent. That's electricity. That's water. That's food. That's transportation. That's going out to restaurants like I'm at right now. You get what I'm saying? I'm in a restaurant getting some food. You know what I mean? So I know in America, my wife was showing me a video, and she was saying, because she loved Panera bread. I'm like, man, Panera is just, that's not just my vibe. I don't know, but it was good, but it was just too expensive. But they saying, she showed me a video, and this guy, he was saying, yeah, I tried to go to Panera bread the other day, and they actually, the price increased. So they had like two sandwiches and maybe like two soups or something, and it was like 75 to like $85. And I'm like, dang, like that's something different. I know we haven't been back to America for 6 years. All praises. Everything is good. Everything is working out. But that's why I say you have to pay attention to these things, because a lot of people are going to be priced out. Things are increasing. So the things that's happening right now with flights, that's a big thing. So even local flights. So just say if you wanted to go to New York to Ohio, they probably not going to do that anymore, right? Eventually, I'm not saying it's going to happen tomorrow, but eventually they're probably not going to do it anymore. So it's like, wow, what is going to happen? Are you going to drive about 8 hours, 10 hours? Are you going to drive? Probably not, because the gas is going to be so expensive. You're probably going to pay more for gas than the flight ticket just to go state to state. So that's why I say it's a choice. It's a thing that they're pricing people out. They're allowing these things to happen for a reason, so you won't have to go anywhere. Like it's really getting down to that part. Like it's slow, but it's steady. That's what I'm saying. Like there's a difference between awareness and panic. You have to be aware. Do not panic. The internet rewards fear. So that's why I say I'm not trying to put fear on you. I'm just trying to make sure that you are aware. Be aware of what's going on. It's not time to be focusing on what's the thing that's coming up with America and Mexico. Leave a comment below. The World Cup, the soccer, football. Man, think about that. Think about all those people that's going to spend money, that's going to travel there, that's going to spend their last and this and that. Maybe not. I don't know. That would be something different if that thing was empty. That would be something different. But you just have to focus on preparation. You got to focus on awareness. Like focus on positioning yourself. You get what I'm saying? Your family wisely. Discernment is key. Discernment is key. I'm telling you, this is why I can consistently talk about having options, having a strategy, understanding different systems. You have to, and it's going to take it will take a shorter time if you talk to someone that knows systems. You get what I'm saying? So check the links in the description, please. One-on-one consultations are open always. The mature adult intensive, we are going to open cohort 9 at the end of this week, possibly next Monday. So right now it is, yeah, it's today. I don't know what day it is. My mind has been catching up on sleep, so I believe it's Wednesday. Yeah. If not, leave a comment like, man, go to sleep. You get what I'm saying? But uncertainty is becoming normal. It's becoming normal, guys. Whether it's economies, health concerns, inflation, travel restrictions, or global instability. We see what's going on all around the world. We see what's going on here in the continent, in certain countries. So that's why I say, like, man, this thing could like distract you so much where you thought you was having a choice and you having a plan to do something, and you so distracted that you can't focus, right? So, like I say, this is why we are doing the things that we're doing. Again, I'm not saying this because another pandemic. Nobody truly knows. Nobody really truly knows, to be honest. But I'm saying this to pay attention, stay informed, think ahead of time, please. Because one thing the last few years should have taught you and us, the world can change very, very quickly. It can just change like that. And we see it all the time. And the people who stay calm, informed, and prepared usually make the best decisions. So you have to make the best decision. So, you know, all praises to the Most High, guys. Make sure you stay informed what's going on. Make sure you like the video, check the links in the description, and I'll talk to you next one, guys. Shalom.